So here we've got our drop indicator. We have our on-off button here, our 0 button here, and our inches and millimeters button here. The other buttons we don't need to worry about right now. Some of the common tips that we use are going to be this straight tip. This tip is typically used when we go ahead and check our linears. When we go to check a dimension, we want to make sure that this surface is nice and clean. The second thing that we want to do is we want to gently place our part there and not drop it. And the third thing we'll want to do is we'll want to grab on by our tip, bring it up, slide our part under, and then gently bring our tip down. Now we're going to go ahead and zero this, lift, remove our part, and then gently bring our tip to come into contact with that surface. And then we read our readout. 0.4503. To swap out the tips, we're going to go ahead and raise our spindle and then crack this loose by twisting clockwise. We're going to want to make sure that we have a good hold on this and we don't let it drop up against our surface plate. Take our tip, put it in its little home, take the new one, and we're going to go ahead and thread it on, rotating counterclockwise. The second most common tip that we're going to use is going to be our angled tip. This has a nice sharp angle on it, and it'll allow us to get in some nooks and crannies that we usually can't. Now that our tip's on, we're going to let it rest up against our surface plate, hit 0, we're going to bring our part in, and we're going to place it up against the thin ledge. And now we've got our readout, 6528. Now our last most common tip is going to be this disc tip. We're going to use this disc tip to measure inside of our grooves on some of our parts. When we go to measure our grooves, we're going to go ahead and place the part there gently, bring our disc and center it up against our surface. We want this shank to be centered with where our surface is. And then we're going to hit 0. We're then going to lift and then move our part and slowly slide this down until we're inside of our groove. And then gently drop it on the ledge. When this goes inside of our groove, we want to make sure that we step away from the radius and leave it just up against our shoulder. And now you can see we're reading 0.4723. 0 again, and come back up. And we're getting the same reading, 4723, so we'll know that we're good.